Lina was a young girl living in the quiet village of Trell. She loved to explore the nearby forest, always curious about what secrets it held. One day, while walking along a familiar path, she found a strange glowing stone. As she picked it up, the stone began to hum, and a voice echoed in her mind. "Lina, you have been chosen. The planet Zorna needs your help." Confused but intrigued, Lina listened as the voice explained that Zorna was in danger. A dark force called the Shadow was spreading across the land, and only someone pure of heart could stop it. The stone was a portal, and Lina had to decide whether to accept the mission. Lina couldn't stop thinking about the message. That night, she packed a small bag, took the stone, and said goodbye to her sleeping family. She held the stone tightly and wished to go to Zorna. In an instant, she found herself in a strange and colorful world. The sky was a deep purple, and the trees had silver leaves that shimmered in the light. Lina knew she had arrived on Zorna. She was greeted by a creature named Rin, who looked like a small, furry dragon with wings. Rin explained that he was sent by the elders to guide her. Together, they set off to find the elders, who lived in a great city called Lumina. As Lina and Rin traveled, they saw the effects of the shadow. The once vibrant land was turning gray, and the people they met were losing hope. They arrived in Lumina, where the elders awaited them. The elders, wise beings who watched over Zorna, told Lina that the shadow had a leader named Varnik. He was powerful and ruthless, but there was a way to defeat him. Lina had to find the 3 crystal hearts hidden across Zorna. These crystals held the power to banish the shadow forever. Lina accepted the task, and with Rin by her side, set out to find the first crystal heart. Lina and Rin knew that finding the crystal hearts would not be easy. Each one was hidden in a place filled with danger and mystery, but they were determined to succeed. Their journey took them through many different lands, each with its own unique challenges. The first crystal heart was hidden deep inside a mountain cave, where the air was cold and the walls were covered in sharp, jagged rocks. As they entered the cave, they could hear the echo of their footsteps and feel the weight of the darkness pressing down on them. Suddenly, the ground shook, and a giant made of stone emerged from the shadows. The giant was enormous, with eyes that glowed like fire and a voice that rumbled like thunder. He was the guardian of the first crystal heart, and he would not let anyone take it without a fight. Lina and Rin prepared themselves for battle, but Lina quickly realized that fighting the giant head-on would be impossible. The giant was too strong, and his skin was as hard as the rocks around them. Thinking quickly, Lina decided to use her cleverness instead of brute strength. She noticed that the giant's movements were slow and clumsy, so she began to taunt him, leading him deeper into the cave. The giant, angered by Lina's tricks, followed her, not realizing that she was leading him into a trap. Lina had spotted a narrow passageway that only she and Rin could fit through. She led the giant toward it, and then, at the last moment, she and Rin darted through the passageway. The giant tried to follow, but got stuck, unable to move forward or backward. Trapped and unable to reach them, the giant roared in frustration, and Lina quickly took the opportunity to grab the first crystal heart from its resting place within the cave. With the first heart safely in hand, Lina and Rin continued their journey. Their next destination was an enchanted forest, a place where the trees were so tall that their tops disappeared into the clouds, and the ground was covered in a thick carpet of moss and leaves. The forest was beautiful, but it was also full of strange and dangerous creatures. As they ventured deeper into the forest, Lina felt a growing sense of unease. She knew that the second crystal heart was somewhere within the forest, but to find it, she would have to face a test of courage. The heart was hidden in a grove at the center of the forest, guarded by a powerful enchantment. As Lina approached, the trees around her began to move. their branches twisting and forming into shapes that played on her deepest fears. Shadows loomed, and eerie sounds echoed through the forest, making her heart race. She saw visions of her family in danger, of failing in her quest, and of being lost in the forest forever. But Rin was there by her side, reminding her of the strength she had already shown. "You have the courage within you, Lina," he said, his voice calm and reassuring. "Remember why you are here, and don't let fear control you." Taking a deep breath, Lina closed her eyes and focused on the warmth of the first crystal heart in her hand. She reminded herself of the friends she had made and the challenges she had already overcome. Slowly, the fear began to fade, and she was able to push forward. The enchantment broke, and Lina found the second crystal heart glowing softly in the center of the grove. With a sense of relief, she took the heart and held it tightly, knowing that she had passed the test. The final crystal heart was hidden in a temple at the bottom of a lake, far from the forest. The lake was dark and deep, its waters cold and still. As they arrived at the lake's edge, Lina felt a shiver run down her spine. She knew that retrieving the last heart would be the hardest challenge yet. The temple was ancient, and it was said that no one had entered it for centuries. Lina and Rin dived into the water, the cold seeping through their clothes as they swam toward the bottom. The deeper they went, the darker it became, until they could hardly see anything in front of them. But Lina pressed on, determined to complete her quest. At last, they reached the temple, its entrance guarded by a riddle written on the door. The riddle was complex, but Lina knew that the answer lay in everything she had learned so far on her journey. After carefully thinking through the riddle, Lina finally found the solution and spoke the answer aloud. The temple doors slowly opened, revealing the third and final crystal heart inside. Lina swam into the temple and carefully retrieved the heart, feeling a sense of accomplishment and relief as she held it in her hands. With all three crystal hearts now in her possession, Lina knew that the final challenge lay ahead. She and Rin emerged from the lake, and as they stood on the shore, Lina felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was ready to confront Varnik, the one who had brought so much darkness to Zorna. The journey had been long and difficult, but Lina knew that everything she had faced had prepared her for this moment. With Rin by her side and the crystal hearts in her hands, Lina felt confident that she could bring light back to Zorna. Lina and Rin returned to Lumina, where the elders helped her prepare for the final battle. Varnik had taken over a fortress in the Shadowlands, and Lina had to face him there. The battle was fierce. Varnik unleashed his dark powers, but Lina held up the crystal hearts, which glowed with a brilliant light. The light weakened Varnik, but he was still strong. Lina had to reach deep within herself to find the courage to keep fighting. With one final surge of strength, she combined the power of the crystal hearts, and a beam of light shot out, striking Varnik. He screamed as the light consumed him, and the shadow began to fade away. Zorna was saved. The land started to heal, and the people rejoiced. Lina was hailed as a hero, but she knew she couldn't stay. She said goodbye to Rin and the friends she had made, then used the stone to return home. Back in her village, Lina looked at the now dim stone and smiled. She knew that she would never forget her journey to Zorna.